It is Wednesday, September 25th, and I'm struggling, I guess, because I never stick those up. Uploaded the video before or after my last half marathon. So I think because these two are so close, I'm just gonna upload the video together. I think that makes sense to me. Anyway, so we are probably about a week and a half post half marathon in Washington and about a week and a half out from running Oregon. So that's cool. So I ran the AppleTree Half Marathon in Vancouver, Washington about a week and a half ago, and it's about an hour and a half from where we are right now, in Tangent. And so I was like, well, the race starts at, I think it was 8 or 9, and that's not too ridiculously early, so I'm just gonna drive there. I've driven an hour and a half race day before, for the Wine Glass Half Marathon in New York, and we got up at like 3:30, 4 o'clock for that one. If I could do that, I could do this. So I think I got up around 5:30 or 6, and I just drove from here up to Vancouver. It rained the entire time, so that was kind of good because I could not see Mount Hood, because Mount Hood scares me. I don't know why. The Three Sisters are fine. They're comforting. I like them. Mount Jefferson is all right, but Mount Hood scares me. Anyway, so I get there. I still have to pick up my packet because I hadn't picked it up because I was like, I'm not gonna drive an hour and a half twice. And the Friday before, I got out of work too late to make it up and go through all that. So I was like, I'm just gonna pick it up before. So I have to park at the high school or the elementary school, I'm not sure. Walk about half mile, 1,200 meters to packet pickup in the rain, and then walk back in the rain, and then walk back to the start line. So I already have like a mile and a half under my belt before I even start. And I get to the line probably about 4 or 5 minutes before the whole thing starts, and I'm just like, I would be this person. But the gun goes off, and they literally had a shotgun for the start of the race, and we go, and I chatted with a girl that I had talked to on Instagram before the race, and it was we didn't plan on meeting up or anything. It just kind of happened, and we were chatting through like mile 2 or 3, and then I just was on my own for a little bit, and that's okay. And I felt great through the first 6 or 7, and then I died a little bit, and I was like, this isn't fun. I'm not having fun. I don't know if it was the rain or what it was, but I was like, I don't want to do Oregon anymore. I'm not going to do Oregon. But I kept going and pushed it and finished. Obviously not my best time. I'm nowhere near close to where I was 2 years ago, and that's okay for now. I'm gonna focus on speed and stuff like that next year. This year was all about falling in love with it again, being consistent, building a good base, and not having like anxiety with running like I had been. I was missing workouts, missing races. So this year was about finding the love in running again. Anyway, so I cross the finish line. I get my apple, my glass jar thing, Gatorade, and then I was so cold and wet that afterwards I just walked to my car. It took like 20 minutes because I was sore and stiff, but I didn't get beer, apple cider, none of it. I just want to go home. And I was gonna go to the Anytime Fitness that was in town, but they didn't have parking, and I was like, I am not walking just to use their shower. So then I sat in the car for an hour and a half driving back in cold, rainy, running clothes. But I got Taco Bell, so that helped. So yeah. Yep. And also, when I finally got the post-race pictures, they might be my favorite of all time, to be completely honest. So, yeah, I'll post those pictures and do a pre-race thingamajig for Oregon. Washington. Check. Okay, so it's still September 25th, but now we're going to talk about Oregon and that half marathon that's coming up next weekend. Holy cow. Oh my god. It's fine. I'm fine. Okay, so I have been wanting to do this specific half marathon for a few months. I am turning 26 next weekend. And so I don't know how, but I always end up doing a half marathon my birthday weekend. Well, this year it's on my birthday. And I had wanted to do a half marathon that was in Coos Bay because that's where Steve Prefontaine is from. And I was like, okay, this is just going to be awesome. I'm going to go to Coos Bay. I'm going to be where Pre was on my birthday in Oregon. I've wanted to come to Oregon for years. I wanted to go to University of Oregon to run, but I got injured in high school and I couldn't run the times that I was running anymore, so it really wasn't feasible. Plus, they don't have an occupational therapy program, so it would have been for nothing anyway because I wanted to be an OT, and I am. But I officially signed up for the race last week, booked the hotel room for today, and it's going to be so nice to sleep on a bed instead of a cot, and I'm so excited. But I think I'm excited that this is my last half marathon of 2019. I'm just so tired. I've done, I think 7 so far, 6 or 7 so far, half marathons, and I haven't really given my body a break, and I'm excited to kind of decrease my miles, focus more on speed instead of getting 20 to 30 miles in just so that my body can handle surviving a half marathon. Yeah. I'm not really going for time or anything. I just want to finish the thing and be able to color in Oregon when we get home in a few weeks. I think we're about a month away now. So that's exciting. And yeah. I hope that it's not too hot, and I also hope that it doesn't rain a bunch. After the last one, I don't really want another super rainy half marathon. Like, I'd do it, but I just, oh my god. So yeah, we're going down next Friday. This weekend I'm running a 5K in Corvallis for the Fall Festival, so that'll be fun. And then I'm not really racing again until we get back home. So I really just want a time machine because I am just so ready to go back to Illinois. Like, Oregon's been cool and everything, it just, I miss home. So hopefully this half marathon just kind of leaves me feeling ready for 2020 and the goals that I have for next year, and I can finally let my body just relax and rest and recover before getting into 5K training, which I am so excited for because I haven't done that for like 2 years, and I felt like when I was doing 5K training I was just happier. I was enjoying running more so than with all the half marathons and then the marathons. I think that the 5K is just my happy place, and honestly once I'm done doing all of these half marathons for the 50 States Challenge, that I am gonna do maybe 1 or 2 half marathons a year, but just mostly stick to 5Ks because that's just what makes me happy. So I will see you in about a week when we are heading down to Coos Bay, Oregon. Nice.
Oh.
Yeah, that's insane. is Tuesday, October 15th, I think. Yeah. And I'm heading into work, and it's great. I'm just so excited. But I can finally do my review for the Oregon Half Marathon since it's behind us now by like a little over a week. So Tyler and I went down to Coos Bay, Oregon on October 4th, and I was going between this one and one in Portland, but I figured that since my Washington Half Marathon was in Vancouver, it's basically Portland, and that, you know, for my birthday weekend, I really wanted to go to where Steve Prefontaine had done a lot of his training runs. So I ultimately decided on doing the one in Coos Bay, and I think really it was more cost effective, even with like the gas and stuff, because I would have had to drive up to Portland 2 days in a row, which would have equated to about 6 hours versus like the 5 that we ended up having to do or something like that. But so we drove down straight from work, and there was actually a car accident on the route that we took. So that was a little annoying and stressful for a minute, because I was like, oh my god, like what if we can't check into the hotel? So we called them, and it really wasn't a problem or anything. And they just kind of opened the door for us so we could get in, paid ahead of time, everything was fine. And then, so we get there, we find out that we can't bring the cats in. So our poor cats, we just had to leave them in the car overnight, because, you know, we can't afford the $250 fee. So we gave them food and water, and their box was in here. They had everything they needed. But yeah, so then we get all our stuff into our room, and we go try to find a place for dinner. I really wanted pizza, so we went like to downtown-ish Coos Bay. It's a small fishing town, so it's not really, or North Bend, I don't really know. And we found this little brewery pizza place that had a very European atmosphere. I got to have a Rodler, which I haven't had in probably a year. And we each ordered a pizza, and Tyler paid for all of it, so that was really nice. And then we went back to the motel, and we went to sleep. And the race didn't start until 9:30 the next day. So I ended up waking up at like 7:30, 8 o'clock, because that's when I normally wake up. And I drove the 5 minutes to pick up to get all my stuff, and then I drove back to the motel to chill for a little bit. And then we went to the Charleston Marina, where the start line was, and we got to, there really wasn't a problem. I started on time, and the course itself was beautiful. I think we went through 3 different state park areas, and it was all on the coast. Around mile 6.2, 6.5, you started hearing sea lions bark, and I was like, what? This is so cool. I've never heard sea lions in the wild before. But yeah, you'd just be running up these huge hills, and then you'd look over to your right, and like the ocean would just peek out, and you were like, whoa. It was really cool. And along the course, I actually met a woman who had been a caregiver for Steve Prefontaine's mom at the end of her life, so that was really neat. And we talked about Steve and just how I had wanted to do that race because of Steve Prefontaine. And I guess I must have channeled him or something, or it was birthday magic, but I ran the fastest time that I've done this whole year on my birthday, and I got surprised surprised at the finish line by Tyler with a balloon and candy and a card, and it was just awesome. And then after that, we went up to we went up the coast so that I could see Thor as well, because I've wanted to see that since we came out here. So we finally got to see it, and yeah, then we came back and just kind of hung out, had a chill birthday, and it was really, really nice. And so that's it for half marathons of 2019. That's what, Kansas, Arkansas, I did the Flying Pig again, Indiana, Minnesota, California, Washington, and Oregon. And I think that's enough for this year. Next year, I'm looking at doing 4 or 5. Let's see, Oklahoma, Nebraska, South Dakota, and I think Vermont is what I'm doing next year, trying to give my body a break from super long distances, because I'm just tired and I'm ready to get back to like 5K training instead. Yeah, it's gonna be great. So I don't think my next half marathon is until April, so I probably won't post too much until then. Maybe like a year in review or something, I don't know, to be determined. So yeah, I'll see you guys